Hello, everyone. Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I'm Minty Betts, joined by Dave Koken and Ralph Michaels. Give them both a follow on Twitter at Dave Koken, at CalSportsLV. This Monday night, we've got quite a game. The New Orleans Saints, a 6-point favorite at the Las Vegas Raiders. The total is set at 51 right now. And news just broke out as we were filming that Michael Thomas will be out for this game for the Saints. So, Dave, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this game, please.
That's a significant injury, too, because, listen, I mean, Drew Brees, his favorite hookup is Thomas, and he's such a valuable receiver. And the volume of catches is extraordinary, and he's basically impossible to stop on those short routes. So that's a key injury. Look, obviously the big thing here is that this is the first game for the Raiders in their new home, and there's not going to be anybody there to see it. And that's just a really tough break. Can you imagine what the atmosphere would have been like? I mean, when they scheduled this game as the Monday night first home game on a Monday night in September, I mean, the NFL had to be licking its chops at the viewership that was going to be in place for this game. It'll still be there, but it's not going to be the same with no fans in the stands. And I do think that's going to have some kind of an impact, but there's no way I can really measure it in terms of points. I mean, I've tried to adjust for the usual home field advantage that I would give teams as opposed to a pretty flat home field advantage that exists now. We had fans at only one game this weekend. It should be pointed out that was a big home dog, and they won, the Jacksonville Jaguars, so maybe that meant something. Tough to put the measurables on that. Coming out of this first game, let's just talk about the football and forget about the emotional aspects. The one thing that I really liked about the Raiders was Derek Carr was the absolute check down king last season in the NFL. I mean, he basically either couldn't wait or didn't wait for receivers to break open, and he was just check down, check down, check down. And in the game this past weekend, he didn't do that. He's got more speed at wideout than he's had in the past. The rookie out of LSU, I'm telling you what, this kid, I know everybody crushed that pick by the Raiders. On draft day, I'm one who didn't. I liked the draft pick. Because if you looked at his numbers at LSU last year, he never dropped the ball, basically. Okay, maybe he's not the most sophisticated route runner yet, but you don't have to be with that speed. I think he's an absolute plus for the Raiders. I thought they looked good. I think Gruden's got a team that's on the rise this year. But the Saints are still the better football team. And the Saints are going to be feeling really good about themselves after completely shutting down Tom Brady and company. That was an impressive performance on defense by the Saints in week one. I think New Orleans is a little too strong for the Raiders at this point. The number is big, and I'm not thrilled about laying that number of points, even in a stadium with no fans. I think the Raiders are going to be fired up. 6 is just a little too high for me. I'm going to wait around and see what the market does with this. If they overreact to the Thomas injury, which they might do. I mean, it's a big injury, but, you know, it's not like he's worth 2 points in the number. If this thing gets down to a 5 or a 4.5 on Monday night, I might get involved at that point with the Saints. Right now, it's a wait-and-see situation for me.
All right. I love it. Agreed. Okay, Ralph, what do you think?
Well, Minty, and I'm sure Dave will agree, the biggest part of being a handicapper is taking what you see in week one, translating it into week two. Were the Raiders good, or was Carolina, with a rookie head coach and a brand new quarterback, a team that they could play against and play well? You know, was New Orleans good, or was Brady, who gifted them a TD on a couple interceptions, a new team with a new quarterback, being bad? So here we have two head coaches in an established system with veteran quarterbacks, so we don't have that issue to study. I like what the Raiders have done. I like their draft choices. Like I said, Dave, I stopped worrying about draft choices. I can't analyze college talent and tell you what it's going to happen in the NFL. So I just believe the GMs, watch for a year and then decide after the fact if it was good or bad. But they've proven the last few years they made the right decisions. They're not afraid. I mean, very few teams, I do give them credit. They drafted the kid out of Kentucky, right? The second round. and the running back, and they traded him. Very few teams are not going to go with a guy that they doesn't think will fit the system, lose 2 rounds of a draft choice. Most teams would just be stubborn and stick with him and see what happens. They made the choice. He's not going to fit our system for this season. Let's jettison him and make sure we made a mistake. To me, they get a ton of credit for that. But I'm going to throw out some TNA. And Minty, let's mention, every day on Instagram, you and I do a section like this, and both of these numbers are from our Instagram daily. Dave, week 2 away favorites in the NFL that won week 1 are 10 and 23 against the spread, 30%. That goes back the last 7 years, just plain and simple. If you win week 1 and you're an away favorite, you are only 30% against the spread. And also, away favorites, the first 5 weeks of the season, if you are an away favorite of 3 or more, you are 13 and 38 against the spread, over under, excuse me. 13 and 38 over under, 25% to the over, 75% to the under. So, I look at those type of numbers much more in the NFL than I do in college. Is there an advantage playing a home game? No, it's probably almost a disadvantage for the Raiders. Coming in, being excited to play, new sight lines for them, but no fans. But I am not going to lay that with the Saints, and I could see them playing a more conservative offense. You're 1-0. Let's just get out of Las Vegas with a win to be 2-0, and I could see Vegas trying to run the ball. I will say this. The Saints defense doesn't get enough credit, but they were number 3 in sacks last year with 51 sacks. They haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in 44 games, and 10 of their 11 defensive starters are back. So to me, I lean dog and I lean under for the Monday night opener in Las Vegas.
By the way, I want to mention
Mm-hmm.
and this is tying into your comment about draft choices. I can tell you right now who the best draft choice out of this most recent draft was. And he's not going to he might not play it down all season. It's Jordan Love out of Utah State going to the Green Bay Packers. You want to know why? Because he got Aaron Rodgers pissed off. Aaron Rodgers is playing with a chip on his shoulder. And I'm going to tell you something. He's going to have a big year. And I'm telling you, he got motivated by that draft pick. It was a real insult to him. The Packers are a buy low future at this point. Watch out for them. You're not going to get a great price on them, but I'm going to tell you, this is a revitalized Aaron Rodgers, and you better factor that into your weekly handicapping with that team.
One last point, Minty, before we go. Mm-hmm. The Raiders do have a bit of an edge. Joe Brady, the offensive analyst, went from the Saints to the Panthers. So it's sort of the same schemes and same offense. So they're going to see the same type of lineup. So it is an advantage for the Raiders playing that back-to-back weeks.
All righty. Wow, guys, this is my favorite video. All right, so check out $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk.com and SportsDemo.com. We feature the hottest handicapper for that week, where you can get their best bet and daily package for the day for just $2. Dave Koken is a $2 handicapper right now, so definitely check that out. He hasn't had a losing, college football season yet at WagerTalk. Is that right, Dave?
Been putting selections at WagerTalk for 3 years, and I guess I'm number 1 in every category in college football. Winning percentage, winning units, whatever. And that's not, and we're at 61, 62%, something like that on all college football selections. And it's not just the last 3 years. That's been my bread and butter for a long, long time. And hopefully that will continue for a long, long time.
So humble. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And thank you guys for watching.
Mr. Humility, that's me.